July, and the weather has been really hot and very warm, incredibly warm. Last week it was about 32 degrees down here in the southeast of the UK, which was very hot, and the greenhouse, I couldn't stay in there for more than about 2 seconds because it was knocking on 40 degrees in there, and that was even with the windows and the doors open all day. So it was very hot, but it's cooled down now. We have had lots of strong winds, which have been actually sort of unusual for this time of year, but the winds seem to have sort of cooled down, or sort of calmed down a bit, and it's a bit overcast today, but that's okay. We are due some rain, which is actually brilliant. We do need that. But what I thought I would show you today is there's still an awful lot to do in the garden. I'm just constantly weeding and watering and harvesting, which is just amazing. So I've been using up my, or working through, should I say, my first early potatoes, which are just so tasty and so lovely. But what I'm going to show you today, a few things, but to start with, I'm going to start harvesting all the broad beans, because they're actually here behind me, just there. And they are sort of at the stage where I would like to harvest them all and use some of them, and then the rest can go in the freezer, and then I can use them as and when. What worries me is if I leave them out for too long, leave them on the plants for too long, then even though I've nipped the tops off the broad beans, the black fly may well descend and I will lose the whole lot. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Now, these did get blown quite a lot, which is why I've actually had to put some string around them just to sort of keep them up. But all I'm going to do, because they've sort of, when you plant them and then they just sort of sprawl everywhere, it's quite difficult to dig them up. So what I'm going to do is I will just chop off the branches. You can see that they're actually starting to lose colour, so they are ready to come up anyway. So I will just cut off each stem, and then when I come across a broad bean, I will just nip that off and I will just put them in a colander. So I will keep doing that, and then when I get inside, when I've done all of these later on when it's raining, then I will sort all of these broad beans out, and I will just take them out of their little pods, and I will, if there are any, there's one here which actually is poking through, which won't be any good because it's gone brown and it's most probably quite hard. But I will open up the pods, I will take out all the beans that are really good, and if they're small then that's absolutely fine, and then I will keep some for dinner tonight, and then the others I will just stick straight in a bag and put straight in the freezer. If you want to blanch them, you can. I'm not one I tend not to blanch stuff. My mum always used to blanch stuff. I don't have the time, so I never have really done it. But if that's what you like to do, then please do it. So I will carry on doing these. I won't actually take the entire root out. I will actually cut right down to the base and leave the roots in, because they have lots of sort of nitrogen on them. And then I will just let the roots just sort of fade away, and then all the nitrogen, they'll just rot away, and then all the nitrogen will go into the ground, and then they'll be great for next year, whatever I'm sowing here. So that's the broad beans. It's time now to start sort of thinning out the carrots, if you haven't done that already. I don't like to throw any of them away, so I use whatever ones, I'll go up the row and I will pick out the small ones, and then we'll have those for dinner. So let me show you how they're getting on. Now, I have been doing it with some of the carrots already, so I've worked my way along some of them, but just let me show you. So you just want to thin them out, because if they haven't been given enough space, then your carrots won't swell up. So just start at one end and just look at the carrots, and if they look like here, I've got one, two, I've got quite a few very close together. So what I will do is I will remove this one and we'll have this one for dinner. So you know when your carrots are ready. I mean, they're ready, whatever size they are. It's not like you've got to wait for them to ripen. So just move a little bit of the soil and then you can see how big it is on the top. Just hold it just where the stem, where the leaves meet the carrot. Give it a quick wiggle and hopefully it'll come out. And now I know that's not a very large one, but we're thinning these out. So we'll go across to some other ones. Oh, this one here looks like it's a little bit too close to the other ones. If you do pull some out and there's nothing there, then just discard that one. This one's quite skinny. Oh, there we go. Well, I see, it's got two legs. There we are, it's got two legs. So that one's quite a small one, but it's actually given space for this one here to grow a little bit more. So that's what you need to do. I think I'll remove this one as well. Oh, that's a good one. Look at that. Ooh, I sounded like Tigger. That's a nice one. Good, excellent. And make sure that once you've removed any, you actually cover up any carrot that is there, because once you've started harvesting them, the smell of the carrots will actually start to attract the carrot fly. So carry on. You don't have to do the entire row all in one go. Just do a little section and harvest the ones that you want for dinner that day, and then the next time do another little section. You don't have to do them all in one go. But let's have a look at the turnips, because my turnips have done amazing this year. I'm so pleased. And they are ready to come up. You can most probably see my peas here, my Monge 2 and my sugar snap peas. They've actually, over the last couple of days, they've taken a right battering with the wind. So I'm going to have to put some string round them to try and sort of lift them up. Because there are so many here and we can't actually keep up with eating them, you can't freeze them. They just don't freeze at all. They go kind of mushy and disgusting. So if any of them have actually gone past what you would use for a sugar snap or a Monge 2, leave them on the plant so that they actually get peas in them, and then you can harvest them and then just use the peas in the middle and not the outside. Next to these I've got some spring onions which have got squashed by the Monge 2, but these are doing great. So we've been coming out and harvesting some of these. So let me just try and lift one up. There we go. Gentle wiggle. Ooh, that's a good one. So they're all looking like that, which is fabulous. But next to those, I have got my turnips here. And I've got a lovely row of turnips. This is the best they've ever actually done. Now, I sowed these in, I think, March time. So if you sow them early like that, then you can start harvesting them now. If you leave them in the soil for too long, they will rot and then you'll lose them all. You can sow, these are the early ones, you can sow some main crop ones sort of in about May time, and then you'll be harvesting those in the autumn. But I've got Swedes over there, which I will be harvesting in the autumn. But these ones are ready to harvest now. I'm not going to harvest all of them. I'm just going to harvest them as and when I need them. But if they start to go soft, then I will make sure that I harvest them all, and then I can cut them up and stick them in the freezer. They are ready, again, whatever size you want them to be. So if you want them to harvest them when they're small and they're sort of golf ball size, then that's absolutely fine and you can eat those raw. But if they get sort of tennis ball size, which mine are, actually a bit bigger I think, then you will need to cook them. So let's just pull one up. I might need to get a fork for this, I don't know. I'll give it a go. This is the first one I've harvested. So just grab hold of all the leaves. or as many as you can get hold of. This could end up in disaster. I might have to go and, oh no, here we go. Ugh. Oh, look at that. Oh, look. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. I'm really pleased with that. And there are some others growing near it, so it's actually, now I've taken that one out, it's given the one, ooh, that one's gone. It's given the ones closest to it a little bit more space to grow. So there is a soft one in there, which I will take out. But as I say, this one's much smaller. Oh, in fact, I think because one has started to go soft, I may well actually end up harvesting all of them, and then I can cut them up and put them in the freezer. So that is sort of a golf ball size. So that one can actually be eaten raw if you want, you know, grate it up. Otherwise you can cook them. So I think what I will do is I'll most probably harvest the entire row, because we've got one that's gone soft, and I do worry that maybe others are as well, but that's those. So there, I'm really pleased with those. That's great. Now somebody wanted to know how my is a Kiwi was getting on, because they put a comment on the on one when I planted my very, very first one. Now, bearing in mind that was in our old house and I couldn't move it, so I had to go and get another one when we moved here. So I've had the one that I've got up the end for about 2 years now. So should we go up and see it and see how it's getting on? Well, here it is. As I say, it's a bit messy around here. I need to get up and have a good old tidy round here. It's only a couple of years old, but it took the first year to sort of settle, and then it started coming up, and then we had a late frost and all the leaves died. But then it's quite a robust little soul. Then once it started to warm up again, then all these leaves came out. So this is the biggest it's ever been. There's no sign on any flowers quite yet, but I'm trying to train it round this to sort of hopefully have it going up and across the fence. But it's doing really well. I'm just letting it do its own thing. I'm wondering if that is possibly a flower that might be coming up the end, but I'm not sure yet. It may well take a few years to completely get settled before it starts to flower, but it seems to be quite happy because it's growing really well, so it's looking healthy. So it's about, I would guess, about 18 inches tall at the moment. So if it does flower this year, then I will take some photos and I will stick them on Facebook and Twitter and all those bits and pieces. Oh, and this, if you're wondering what this is, this is my tayberry, which seems to want to come over and play. So I have been attaching it to some trellis at the back, but again, this needs to be tamed, which hopefully I will try and do later today. Well, that's just a little quick update. Behind me here, I have got a load of brassicas over there, which are doing amazing. The kale is ready to harvest as and when I need it. The Brussels sprouts are about half the size of my little fingernail, so they're starting to form. The cabbages are starting to sort of firm up in the middle, and it's all getting along quite well. I've got some rocket here, I've got a beautiful climbing rose there which I love, and I've got courgettes behind me, and I've got a courgette here which is about 3 inches long. It's about that long, so give that another couple of days and hopefully that will be ready to harvest. My sweet corn is doing cool, and my tomatoes and lots of the fruit is starting to ripen, which is brilliant. So I've got lots to do. So I will keep you updated on how everything's going at the middle of July. So yes, it's been cool. It's a good year. So I hope everything's going well in your plot, whatever you're growing, and I hope you're enjoying all the little treats that you're getting from your garden. Well, I hope you found what I've shown you useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.